Welcome to the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. I am your host, Christine Diane Thompson, and this podcast is for dietitians who are ready to stop apologizing for wanting more money, more freedom, and a career that actually honors everything that you bring to the table. This is where we ditch the guilt and start building something big. If that resonates with you, let's go ahead and get started with today's episode. Hey there, my friends. Welcome to episode 371 of the Make More Money as a Dietitian podcast. It's so great to have you back for another episode on the pod. I have a really good episode for you today. At least I believe it's really good because I believe that this topic, even though it has been iterated in so many different forms by so many different people, so many women who are women empowerment leaders, feminists, and the like, okay? I am going to throw my hat in the ring and talk about the most important topic that I believe is meant to be heard by women across the globe. And I am entitling this, You Are Number One. And so let me talk to you about you, my friend, being number one. And the reason why I laugh when I say that is because I have a little bit of a backstory with that phrase. So I want to share it with you. So for those of you who know me well, you know that I've been married twice. And my first husband is the father of my three sons. Okay, we had three children together. We had all the things. We had the house, we had the picket fence, we had everything, and it just did not work. Okay, so when we were raising the boys up when they were really young, my ex-husband used to tell them, and he used to sit them down. I'm laughing because this is just crazy. It's not crazy, but it is crazy to me when I think back about it. He would sit them down and look them square in the eye and say, "You remember, you're number one. Okay, son? You're number one. No one comes before you. You are your most important person. You're number one." And to this day, if they don't remember anything, they always reference how Dad used to say that they are number one. And in some ways, they kind of took it out of the context in which I believe he meant. And that's why I can kind of chuckle about it. But yeah, you're number one, my friends. You are number one. Every woman out there needs to hear that same talk, I believe. And I'm here to give that talk to you, that you are number one. You're number one, my friends. Whether you are a registered dietitian, a nutrition professional listening to this, you're just a regular person. You might be one of my clients listening to this. I want you to know that you are number one, okay? Your number one, my friends, is not something that us women hears very often, because usually when you wake up and you have that first thought, it isn't about your day, your dreams, or even your coffee. It's about who needs what from you today, okay? Maybe it's your partner who needs you to handle that thing that they've been putting off. Or it's your kids who need you to solve their problems before they even head off to school. Or maybe if you're in business for yourself, it's your clients that need responses to emails that came in overnight. Your team maybe needs you to make some decisions. Or if you're a caregiver, maybe it's your parents that need you to check in on them. Okay. And somewhere in the back of your mind, there's this tiny voice that's asking, but what about what I need? Maybe Because, like I said, we don't get that talk that says you're number one, right? But if you do get that tiny voice that's asking about what you need, you might just push it down because there's just no time for that right now. There's just too much to do, too many people depending on you, too many responsibilities that can't wait. But here's what I want you to consider today, my friends. What if we got all of this completely backwards because we didn't have that you're number one pep talk? What if the most generous, loving, impactful thing that you could do for everyone in your life, personally and professionally, is to make your own life your first priority? Now, I know I can already hear some of you bristling at that, thinking, Christine, that sounds really selfish. I can't just abandon my responsibilities. Other people need me. And I'm not suggesting that you abandon anyone or anything. I'm suggesting that you stop abandoning yourself. Okay? So let's talk about how we got here, my friends. Because if this doesn't resonate in your life, maybe you notice it in your clients' lives, especially if you serve women. Okay? Because we have not gotten here by accident. We were taught from a very young age that good women, good girls put everyone else first. That our value comes from how well we take care of ourselves. Or maybe no, our value comes from how well we take care of others. Excuse me, listen to me, because I take care of myself, honey. And if that was a Freudian slip, it was for real, okay? And I am not going to edit that. But we have been taught that our value comes from how well we take care of others, and that if we're not constantly available, constantly giving, constantly sacrificing, we're somehow falling behind in life, and we are failing at being women. And if you're a high achiever, you are that ambitious, educated dietitian, health professional, or some kind of professional other than that. Expectations are even higher, my friends. You're supposed to be the perfect mother and the successful professional and the supportive partner and the daughter who never forgets a birthday and the friend who's always available for crisis management. Okay? You're supposed to do it all. You're supposed to be it all, and you're supposed to make it look effortless. But here is the truth that very few people talk about. You're drowning. We're all drowning in everyone else's needs for our time, our attention, energy, emotional labor. And while we're managing everyone else's life, our own life is on pause. And that sucks, in my opinion. Our dreams are on hold. And oh my gosh, that breaks my heart. Our goals, our dreams are gathering dust. And that means that our potential is suffocating under the weight of everyone else's urgent requests. This is so disheartening. And the saddest part is that we call this being a good woman or a good wife if you're married. We wear our exhaustion, my friends, like a badge of honor, and it is crazy. We compete over who's the most overwhelmed. Oh, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm so busy. We think that whoever's giving the most is doing the most, and that is the best. That is crazy. Now, I want to ask you something. What if the women we value, or not value, but the women we most admire, the ones who are truly making an impact in the world didn't get there by putting everyone else first. What if that's true? What if they got there by making their own life matter enough to protect, nurture, and prioritize themselves? Okay, because I believe a version of that is true for a lot of the women that we admire who have done the things that we maybe aspire to do, or we just look up to them for doing themselves. Okay. So you've heard the airplane analogy 1,000 times about how you need to put on your own oxygen mask before helping others, right? But let's go a little deeper than that, because I think we've been treating it like a nice advice instead of life or death. Okay. When you consistently put everyone else's needs before your own, you're not just getting tired, my friends. You're not just a little stressed. You are slowly drowning. You're slowly suffocating. You're slowly dying, in my opinion. Your creativity dies first, then your enthusiasm, then your clarity, then your patience, and eventually your health starts declining. Your relationships suffer because you're resentful and depleted. Your work suffers because you're operating from an empty tank. And the people you're trying so hard to take care of get the worst version of you. They're getting your leftovers, my friend. Your exhaustion and your overwhelm. Okay? But on the other hand, when you make your own life a priority, when you ensure your own needs are met first, everything changes. Now, let me pause here because I know there are some of y'all out there that are shaking your head like, yeah, I know, you're right, yep. And I have worked with some of y'all who are listening to this, and you say, yeah, I know. But you don't do it either. Okay? It's hard. It is hard, but it's necessary. I have worked with many health professionals who know the theory of taking care of themselves first and making themselves a priority and still struggle with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because, like I used to always say, I was a human first before I became a dietitian, before I became a health professional. I was born into this world as a human. So I still have human tendencies, and so do you. So there's no shame. But what is really most important is that you take full responsibility and ownership over the work in progress that you are. And not say, yeah, I got it. I know you're right. And yeah, I'm doing that, but you're not really doing that. Like, we can't just fake it till we make it in life. Like, let's be honest about where we are in life. Okay. So when you take your life and you make it a priority, you are number one. Okay. When you are confident in you being number one, everything changes. You, my friend, show up as the woman who has energy to give because she's not running on empty. You make decisions from clarity instead of chaos and overwhelm. You, my friend, you create boundaries that protect everyone in your inner circle and in your relationship. Okay? Not just the person asking for your time. You, my friend, are number one. And when you're number one, your children learn what that looks like to be a woman who values herself. Because as I tell my clients all the time, Your children model what you do more than what you say. All right. So when you prioritize yourself, when you say no more than you say yes, or you say, wait a moment, all right, this is my time, I will get to you when I'm done. When you model this behavior, I promise you, your children will remember that and model that. Okay? Your partner will learn how to be with someone who isn't constantly in crisis management mode. Your clients get the best of your thinking because you're not mentally scattered across 17 different people's problems. Okay? And this, my friends, is not selfish. This is strategic and this is sustainable. This is the only way to create lasting impact without burning yourself out in the process. And ask me how I know. All right. So I need you to hear this. Your life, my friends, is not a side project. Your life is not a side project. You are not the supporting character in everyone else's story. You, my friends, are the main character in your own life. Main character energy. Hello. And that life matters just as much as anyone else's. But somewhere along the way, we internalize this message that our dreams and our goals and our needs, our desires are less important than everyone else's. That we should be grateful for whatever scraps of time and energy are left over after we've taken care of everyone else, which is crazy. And I think about the scraps when clients will tell us as nutritionists, as dietitians, that, oh, well, I just feed everyone else and then I eat what my kids have left on their plates. Are you kidding? I mean, even when my kids were younger, I didn't do that. No, I'm sorry. I'm not eating your leftovers. That is gross. Okay. So, making your life a priority does not mean you become a selfish person who does not care about other people, okay? It means you become someone who understands that you can't give what you don't have. You can't support others from a place of depletion. And you can't lead others to a place you've never been yourself. Now, that is some truth, okay? You cannot lead others to a place that you've never been yourself. Now, let's talk about that for a minute because sometimes we think, we can tell the people about the things. This is theoretical stuff. This is evidence-based research, science, and all the things. But if you're not practicing that, if you're not only not practicing it, but if this is not your lived experience, you probably need to rethink what you're doing and what you're saying. Okay? It needs to be more than just theory that you're spouting. This needs to be lived experience. Okay? Because once again, you cannot lead others to a place you've never been yourself and you haven't lived there for a while. So, what does this look like practically? It means that your morning routine is non negotiable, even when everyone else wants to sleep in and expects you to handle their morning chaos. It also means that you invest in your own education, your own growth, your dreams with the same sense of urgency that you invest in your child's future. Ding, 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 ding. It means when someone asks you to take on something that would compromise your own priorities, you will say, I'm not available for that right now. Okay, without a long explanation or an apology. Don't be apologizing. Do not do that. I hate it. So awesome. Ugh. Apologizing. So not good. Okay. but it means that you schedule time for your own goals before you schedule time to help everyone else with theirs. And yes, some people will have opinions about this, and some people will call it selfish because they benefited from your previous pattern of self abandonment. Okay. And that's not your problem to solve. That's information about who they are, not information about who you need to be. Okay. So, how do you actually do this without feeling like you're abandoning everyone else that you care about? First and foremost, you start with boundaries, not apologies. Okay. You don't need to justify why your life matters. When my ex-husband said what he said, he didn't teach his sons to justify it and apologize if they were hurting anyone else's feelings. He just said, "You're number one. You remember that. You're number one." Okay. So you don't need permission to prioritize yourself. You just need to start doing it. And before you say yes to anything, any request, any commitment, any obligation, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. Number one, does this align with my priorities right now? Number two, do I have the capacity to do this well without sacrificing something more important? And number three, am I saying yes from excitement and alignment, or am I saying yes from guilt and obligation? Now, if you can't answer yes to all 3 of these, the answer is no. Okay? Simple as that. Now, secondly, I want you to create a non negotiable time for yourself. And this isn't time that gets sacrificed when someone comes to you with something urgent. This is time that is as important as any doctor's appointment or any business meeting, because truly it is that important. So maybe it's your morning routine. Maybe it's your workout time. Maybe it's Saturday mornings for your side project. But whatever it is, it gets protected like the precious resource that it is. And I will share that for me, it's my morning routine. My mornings are slow. My mornings are quiet. My mornings are peaceful. I do not talk. I do not have long conversations. I am in the dark usually because I wake up very early. I light candles. Sometimes I go into my prayer closet. I have music going that is very soft and low. I journal. And that's the first thing I do every morning. And no one can take that away from me for nothing, unless it's a life or death situation. Okay. So the third thing that I really want you to do is to communicate that this new shift is here, and I want you to communicate it clearly and kindly to the people in your life. You could say something like, I'm making some changes to how I manage my time and my energy so that I can show up better for everyone, including myself. So this means I won't be as available for last minute requests, but I'll be much more present during the time that we do have together. Okay? You say something similar, right? Now, here's the hardest part. When you feel guilty, and you will feel guilty because you've been conditioned to feel guilty for taking up space, for making yourself a priority, all right? I want to have you to remind yourself that guilt is not proof that you're doing something wrong. Guilt is just proof that you're doing something different. And different is exactly what we're going for here. So, in closing, my friends, I want to reiterate that you are number one. You're number one. You're number one. You're number one. And here is your challenge for this week. I want you to identify one area where you've been putting everyone else's needs before your own. Is it in the morning? Is it in the evening? Is it during the day when you're working with clients or coworkers? And I want you to flip that script and stop putting everyone else's needs before your own. Okay? Pick one area. And for the next 7 days, I want you to make it non-negotiable to prioritize your needs before everyone else's, like it's an emergency. Okay? And just notice what happens. Notice how you feel when you honor your own needs first. Notice how the people around you respond when you're operating from fullness instead of depletion and overwhelm. Because your life matters. Your dreams matter. Your goals matter. Your needs matter. And the world really needs you to start acting like it, if I may be frank about it. So remember, you're number one. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with another woman that you know needs to hear that. Because for so many years, she, like us, has been conditioned to believe that everyone else's needs take a priority over her own. And she needs this tough love conversation. She needs the permission, maybe even just the reminder that her life matters too. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, my friends. Have a great rest of your day and the weekend ahead, and I'll see you on our next episode of Make More Money as a Dietitian. Bye for now, my friends. Hey there, my friend. If something in today's episode hit different, I'd love that for you. This week, I invite you to take one action that feels a little scary, yet honors your work. And for more resources and ways to work together, head on over to manipuracenter.co. Remember, you're not asking for too much, my friend. You've just been settling for too little.